so good to see all you guys. I hope you're keeping well and things are going well for you guys. I wanted to ask you guys a question today, and that question is simply this: have you ever let someone down before? Tough one. I know I have. And the truth is, there's nothing worse than seeing that look of disappointment in someone you love or respect's face. That feeling like you know that they trusted you, they supported you, they believed in you, they had your back, and you went and let them down. You disappointed them. I know that might seem like a bit of a heavy question to ask, but the truth is we all know what that's like, right? We all know what it's like to be disappointed and to be let down by other people. But we also know what it's like to disappoint someone. And it's really the worst feeling in the world. And honestly, I can think of nothing worse than having to go and see that person who I know disappointed and see that disappointment in their face. See just how much I've let them down and how sad they are because of what I've done. But if you've been there, don't worry, you're in pretty good company. As a matter of fact, one of the main people in the Bible knew exactly what it was like to be a major disappointment. See, Peter was one of Jesus' closest disciples, and for years he'd walked with Jesus. He'd listened to all the things that Jesus taught. He'd lived. He'd went with Jesus everywhere they went together. They used to laugh together. They used to spend time together. He was part of all Jesus' miracles. He saw Jesus do incredible and amazing things. And Peter was so passionate about Jesus. He was so fully invested in Jesus. Man, Peter was even prepared to kill for Jesus. And even once he tried. You know, when the guards came to arrest Jesus, Peter just whoops out his sword and he goes all samurai on them, you know. He cuts this guy's ear off, although he didn't mean to cut a guy's ears off. He was actually aiming for his head, but he missed. But don't worry, it's all good because Jesus kind of just picked the guy's ear up and put it back on and just healed him. Which is so cool because here Jesus is healing someone who came to falsely arrest him. How amazing is that? The truth is, Peter was absolutely ready to kill for Jesus. And more than that, Peter said on countless occasions, he would say stuff like, you know what, Jesus, I would die for you. I would die for you. I would kill people. I would die for you. I'm there. I'm going to do it no matter what. I'd be there. Thing is, Peter didn't realize very soon he'd get his chance to put his money where his mouth was. Because after Jesus is arrested, everybody's looking around for the guys who are following Jesus. They want to arrest them too. And so what happens is, while Jesus is on trial for his life, being falsely accused, people come along and they see Peter and they're like, hey, aren't you that Peter guy? You that guy with Jesus, right? And Peter goes like, what? Jesus? No, I don't know who that guy is, you know? And then someone's like, no, I'm sure I've seen you there with Jesus. You're always running after him. You're like his little buddy, right? And then Peter's like, what are you talking about, man? I have no idea who this Jesus is. I've never met the guy. Stop accusing me of knowing that guy. I've got nothing to do with the guy. And then they go like, nah, listen, we can hear by the way you speak. You're definitely one of those guys. And then Peter loses his mind. He starts like going, I promise you, I swear, I have no idea who this Jesus is. I have no clue. I would never have anything to do with somebody like that. And as soon as he says it the third time, he remembers something. He remembers that while he was talking about how big and brave he was, how he was willing to die for Jesus, Jesus told him even then, hey Peter, guess what? You think you're willing to die for me. But you know, when it comes right down to it, you'll deny even knowing me. Dude, what a disappointment. For somebody with such a big mouth who's talking about all he was going to do, and then he just totally lets Jesus down. Right in his hour of need, Peter didn't even want to identify with Jesus. Just think about that for a second. After all that rah, Jesus, I would die for you, he just turned out to be this major disappointment. Just another person who says a lot of stuff and means nothing. If you were Jesus, how would you have felt? Disappointed? I'm sure, I think I would have. What do you think Jesus would say if he ever saw this major disappointment again? You know, what do you think Jesus would say if he ever saw Peter again? The truth is, Jesus does see Peter again after he rises. And this is what happens. It's from John 21, and it's from verse 7. It says, when the disciple who Jesus loved said to Peter, it is the Lord, as soon as Simon Peter heard him say, it is the Lord, he wrapped the outer garment around him, for he had taken it off, and he jumped into the water. The other disciple followed in the boat. So here it is, like after Jesus rises from the dead, the disciples are out fishing. And so here, like far away on the shore, they look out and they see, hey, there's Jesus. And Peter, this guy, he doesn't even want to wait for the boat. He just like jumps in the water and starts swimming. Man, he wants to get to Jesus. And that seems so crazy to me, because if that was me, If I had let Jesus down like that, if I'd been all like, Jesus, I would die for you, and then I'd pretend like I never even knew him, I don't know if I would want to see him. I don't know if I would want to get that lecture. Him say, Dwight, you know what? You see, I told you you wouldn't stick to it. I told you you'd do that. You let me down. I was out there being on trial for my life, and you know what? You couldn't even say you know me. I wouldn't want to see that look in his face. That look that says that I let him down. The look that said that I've been a huge disappointment. So why is Peter so eager to get to Jesus? Why is he so desperate to get to Jesus that he doesn't even want to wait for the boat when he turned out to be nothing but a biggest disappointment in Jesus' hour of need? I think the answer is pretty clear from the way Jesus reacts. From verse 9, this is what it says. When they landed, they saw a fire burning and coals there, and on it there was fish and some bread. Then Jesus said to them, bring some of the fish that you are caught. Jesus said to them, come and have breakfast. See, Jesus cooked them a fish braai breakfast. Wait, what? Sorry, come again? These are the same guys who kind of like left you on your own when you were in trouble. This is the same Peter who wouldn't even like acknowledge knowing you. Wait, where's the lecture? Where's that disappointed look? Where's that kind of like, you know what, you really let me down. I'm very disappointed in you. Where's all that guilt trip? Nah, there's nothing. See, Jesus just lovingly brings Peter and all the rest of the disciples back. You see, that's why Peter was so excited to get to Jesus. Because out of all the time that Peter had spent with Jesus, he knew one thing for sure. He was so confident of Jesus' love and his forgiveness that he knew that it didn't matter how much he had messed up. It didn't matter how much he had disappointed him. It didn't matter how many mistakes that he made. He knew that Jesus would forgive him. He knew that he could come back. And all he had to do was just come and get close to Jesus. And Jesus would forgive him. No lecture, no puppy eyes, no disappointment, no guilt trip. Now Jesus was there just welcoming him back. And the best part about the story is Peter goes on to do incredible things for God and for the kingdom of God. So why am I sharing this with you today? Because the truth is, sometimes when I think about Jesus, when I think about the fact that he is there and that he understands and that he's close, the one thing that keeps me from coming to him is the fact that I feel I've disappointed him. I feel I've let him down again and again. I've made mistakes. I've thought the wrong things. I've said the wrong things. I've done the wrong things. And surely, if I had to come to Jesus, if I had to come close to him, all he would do was look at me with those sad puppy eyes, with that disappointment in his face, and give me a lecture about how I let him down. But you see, that's not how Jesus works at all, is it? No, when we mess up and we come close to him, he brings us right back. He comes and says, you know what? I love you. I forgive you. It's okay. We're moving forward. So I don't know where you've been over the last couple of weeks. I don't know what you've been experiencing. I don't know what your relationship with God is like. I don't know if right now you're sitting here and saying, Dwight, I don't even know how to come close to Jesus because I've just been a disappointment. I've just disappointed him. I've just let him down. I've just messed up time and time and time again. I don't think he's going to forgive me. Well, guess what? Peter was the major disappointment of the story. He was the ultimate disappointment. And yet Jesus just welcomed him back with open arms. No condemnation. All he's doing is waiting for you to just jump out of that boat and swim out to him. So don't miss that opportunity today. If that's you, I want to pray for you right now that you would know that. Let's close our eyes. Jesus, I thank you so much that no matter how much I disappoint you, no matter how many times I screw it up, no matter how many times I let you down, you never write me off. You never give me a long lecture. You never put me on a guilt trip to tell me about what a mess up I am. I thank you that you just welcome me back and that you move on for the forward. And so Lord, I pray for each and every person right now who's maybe felt that they've disappointed you, that they've let you down, that they can't come close to you because they've screwed up. Lord, I pray that they would know that they are free, Lord, and that they would be able to just come to you, Lord, and that they would just feel your loving arms of love, forgiveness, Lord, and the fact that you want to do incredible things for their life. Lord, I pray that we would be able to come close to you and that we wouldn't let any disappointment stand in that way. We thank you for this time that we've been together. In Jesus' name. Guys, go out there and don't let anything keep you from Jesus because there's no such thing as being too big a disappointment. Trust me, I know, and so does Peter. See you guys soon.